Hello and welcome back to the channel, here for yet another league race, this time in the SaltGang Championship, and today we're at Hungary for the penultimate race of the season. This is I think round 9 of 11 I want to say, not entirely sure. You see, we scroll too far down themselves, we'll ignore that because that didn't happen, and nobody saw it. As I mentioned very close to the end of the season now, I am still within a shot of the championship. It's going to be difficult. Coming into this race, I was 25 points behind the leader with 2 races left. The leader is Matty. I believe he is in McLaren in this league. I believe. I could be wrong, of course, but I think that's how it is. So I missed the first 3 races here because I was invited for round 4. And I missed the further 1 race. I think he's racing all of them. When coming into this as well, obviously I was quite far behind, I think like 60-70 points maybe. Slowly clawing it back. We're getting another thing with this, it happens 10 AM in the morning. I normally get out of bed about 9:55 or like 9:50ish. So literally I have to sleep for this first qualifying lap. As you can see, it's on the screen now, you've been watching it, it is pretty much horrendous. Especially if you compare it to Tuesday nights in CSGB. This was honestly, wasn't my best lap around Hungary. You can also see I used my elite strats at turn 4 to not cut the track. You can see in the lap, you can see it's a 15.8.
Fantastic. That was the
If you look at that, compare that to Tuesday, I did a 14.0, I think. That was my first lap there, so literally 1.8 seconds off.
1 minute, 15.
What I did, track might be a little bit different, but I'm in the same car, I'm in the Ferrari. So not really any excuses. But I guess that's how things go.
So far our fastest
As I said, I'm usually half asleep. Or at least the qualifying here, I normally wake up a bit for the second lap and then into the race. As you would have seen there, an entire first run in qualifying, which, you know, those of you that watch these, you know what that means. Those of you that don't, you'll find out in about half a lap's time. You can see we get a bit worse exit out of the fun corner. You can see this Mercedes on the inside. It was nicely gets out of our way, but yeah, we get not the best run through turn 1, however we are gaining on the exit. And through turn 2, of course, this felt a lot better already. As I can see it was green. I think I looked at the delta here. I was like, okay, 2 tenths up after 2 corners. You know, I'm definitely more awake. You can see through turn 4 a lot more on it. I found half a second maybe? No, okay, about 3-4 tenths. Then through the chicane, fine. A little bit more time. And we come through turn 8, and now through turn 9, which was a bit controversial. I don't think I went off the track there. Feel free to pause the video, look back at it, and have a proper look at it, because I'm pretty sure I stayed within the track limits. Like, I don't think I exceeded them. It didn't look like I did. At the time, I was a little bit annoyed, a little bit flustered, tried not to let it get to me. So we said, okay, we got enough fuel, we can do one more run here. Tyre wear isn't the worst around Hungary, but we used too much inside of the gutter. Lose the back, front wing's broken, and that's it for qualifying. So a little bit annoying, but P4 in the end, which I'm a little bit surprised with. Again, if I had found the pace I had on Tuesday night, and then actually Wednesday night in the dry, you never know. Could have been on pole by half a second, but that's how these things go sometimes. You know, you got to hook it up. But one thing I really need to work on is my qualifying runs. I need to actually make them good, I guess. Heading on to the start, and I can see Formula Matt there jumping the start. As is AI, he disconnected, which is a couple of times now. So, not the end of the world. Running down in towards turn 1, you see the racing partner just behind me decides to use me as a brake. His brakes aren't good enough, which didn't really affect me until after the contact. Then his teammate just sneaks up the inside of me, which is a little bit annoying. I'm like, okay, yeah, we got him here. It's all good. And then he just appears around the outside. I was like, oh, okay, fair play. I wasn't expecting that at all, him to come back at me, but oh well, once again, using my elite track extending strategies to not get a warning. I'm not going to say what they are, so none of my rivals can use them, but it's quite obvious, to be honest, if you just watch what I do. It doesn't actually work all the time, so I did get a couple of warnings, I think, maybe one or two, by that not working. Despite my best efforts. You see, we're just trying to stay up close to Bend versus more. I know I'm faster than him. Just a little bit slow behind him at this point. I think he just had a really good first lap. As you see, coming into it. I'm not going to lie, I thought it was him that hit me at turn 1. So I was a little bit aggressive. Like, I wouldn't normally send it up the inside a corner like at a hairpin like that on the first lap if I wasn't already alongside. So yeah, and then cleaning me around the outside, you can see there just the AI of Formula Matt's car just ignoring the lights completely. See, a lot of wheel spin from Matty, I didn't actually notice that at the time. And as we came down towards the first corner, I'm kind of just chilling by myself. So the contact was like there, it was literally just a split second. But it didn't affect me when he hit me, it only affected me afterwards. I think I carried, oh no, I didn't carry it, but he kind of gave me a little bit of a speed boost mid-corner, which really wasn't fun. But yeah, it's a fairly clean start from us. At least we have gotten past Formula Matt now, I believe he's still in AI mode. We're on to lap 3, coming up to turn 13, so same as we got past Bembo, you can see Zen ahead of us. Just losing the back end and turning, it's quite easy to do that, to be honest, if you haven't got the right balance in your car. It's a very tricky camber corner. Very easy to lose the back. You can see I had to lock up a little bit to avoid hitting him, because he kind of spun into my line. But I gained a position, so it's fine. Yeah, a little bit scary when I saw he just spun, because I didn't know where his car was going to end up. Then as we move on to lap 5, you can see Matt, I think he might have rejoined at this point actually. I think he disconnects later on. Possibly. I don't really remember. This race was a couple of days ago for me. You can see top 2 coming to the pit lane, so that kind of confirmed to me they were going for a 2-stop strategy. Which didn't really bother me, but as you will see, I think you get a chance to see it. Matthew goes on to the hard tyres. Does it change? There it goes, there we go. Very briefly you can see that Matthew went on to hards, which kind of said to me he was going to try and get to the end of the race. I believe we're coming in now on lap 8, yes we are. So I think we were told to pit at lap 6, and I was like, no Jeff. Not happening. Going to the pits 2 laps after we're supposed to, but still fine. Onto the hard tyres, I know they can go from the end from here. Mainly because I saw Natsuki do it in CSGB.
Go, go, go.
So it kind of helps a lot. Watching those races, because I think most of them are faster than me. I think I could possibly get points in the F1 division there. But we'll see.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Definitely be difficult. You see, rejoining the track in P4 now onto lap 9. I think that they may have seen Formula Matt disconnected, possibly, I think that's what it said.
Gap to car in
Just
front
about
is
missed it.
8.4 seconds.
The track Formula then into the pit lane, up to P3 now. Matty, he got held up a lot, I don't know what the reason was. He got held up quite a lot when he came out of the pits. He maybe was stuck behind Bembo or something, I'm not too sure. You see Zen now comes to the pit lane. Very, very fast. You would have seen last week in Brazil. They are very fast. Almost scary how quick they are. See, at the moment they're 4.5 seconds behind us. We're on to lap 19 now. So they're just slowly climbing back at us, which is very scary because they are very fast. They're on the same tyre compound as us, just I think 6 or 7 laps fresher. This is the start of the mediums because they're that fast, they can qualify on them. I was pretty much spending this stint trying to catch Razzie, so he's on soft tyres, which having helped him quite a bit. I think he's on quite a good qualifying pace, but his race pace doesn't quite seem to be there. That's kind of the opposite to me. And once I sort out my qualifying pace, I will be quite a lot stronger. But my race pace is strong enough to make up for it at the moment. So the gap to the Razzie ahead was kind of just going up and down a little bit. I think at this point I may have started to close him down a bit faster. But I was just watching the deltas that behind that the gap was in. It was coming down quickly. I don't know if I knew at this point, but he does have 6 seconds of penalties by the end of the race. I think actually it might have been 9 seconds, which again I didn't know at the time. Which was a little bit frustrating, a little bit annoying, seeing the speed. You can see there Razzie pulls into the pit lane.
P1, you're leading the race.
You come on to lap 20, and then 4 laps later you can see Zen has scored us, he has DRS. A little bit too far back this time though on lap 24. So we can't really do anything. In my head I just thought as long as I can keep him behind for as long as possible, he has as little chance as possible as breaking the gap to me. So I think at this point I knew he had 6 seconds. You can see now on to lap 25. He wasn't close enough 24. Lap all 25. Now on to lap 26 though, when we cross the line if I get the lap count right. I don't fight it. I can see he's so much closer than he was. So I just let him have the clean line there, the racing line. Keep us highest. You know, nice and clean. See now, I think this is no, same lap, okay. A little bit confused there. They have a time penalty of 6.03 second penalty for Zen. I'm not sure when I found out this. It might have been now, it might have been a couple laps ago. But after 2 laps of being in front, he was pulled 2.5 seconds. So at this point I was honestly thinking this is impossible. He's this much quicker than me. On to the final lap now, you can see the gap is 5.8 seconds or 5.6. It's kind of hard to read because it's in a shrunken window when I'm recording the voiceover for this. But this was honestly the most difficult I have had to push to try and get a race win. So at this point I was penalty free. I knew that I had 2 warnings, I'm pretty sure, so I had to be quite careful in order not to push too much and trying to catch him. But I was gaining ever so slightly, and then I would just drop back a little bit. So the gap, I was kind of impressed I was able to keep it whatever, like under 6 for most of this. Because the gap I think hit 5 seconds on lap 33. So these last sort of 3 laps was very difficult indeed, just to try and keep that gap at a place. Honestly, the hardest I've ever had to work to get a win. Because the gap has now reached 6 seconds, so through these last couple of corners was possibly the hardest I've ever pushed through them. You can see I'm literally throwing the car in. Then as we come over across the line, we've done it. 2.7 seconds at the end, which I found out after the race. He picked up another penalty. He got, I think, a 3 second on, I think, the final corner from what I understood. It was a shame for him, as I would have lost out by 3 attempts, which would have been very annoying for me. But there we go, championship closing down ever so slightly. But thank you very much for watching. This will be the end for today. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe as well, it helps me out massively. And if you have any suggestions how I can improve, feel free to drop a comment as well. I'll always respond to all of them. Apart from that, I'll catch you tomorrow with the next one.